A teenage girl in Maryland. She was allegedly raped in a high school bathroom by two illegal immigrants.
Bathroom of a Maryland high school by two male students who are both in the country illegally. One of the suspects in the vicious attack, 18-year-old Henry Sanchez Milian from Guatemala, was stopped by Border Patrol 7 months ago, but was not deported. A concerned local resident spoke to Tucker Carlson about her campaign to stop the city from becoming a sanctuary city of Rockville.
I'm really for law and order. I've been fighting for this, but when this situation in Rockville happened, it made me really upset because of the fact that a 14-year-old girl was not protected in the high school, and all the money that we in Montgomery County pay for our taxes, which goes to mostly the school, that they have a situation where they allow illegals to come into a high school at 17 and 18. Illegal, don't speak English, and have an opportunity to do this kind of crime for a 14-year-old is really very, very disheartening.
Meanwhile, a Montgomery County official is deflecting blame for this attack.
One of the two individuals that was apprehended was actually stopped by ICE in Texas and released. How is this on us? This is not on Montgomery County in any way, shape, or form. We have a police chief who is completely dedicated to public safety, and we are following the rules and recommendations that he has set forth. So this is not on us.
All right, Ms. Kimberly, is it in fact on Rockville, Maryland, or the Border Patrol in the Texas?
But see, I think this is a perfect example where you have this problem where they're trying to finger pointing this way, but public safety loses out, and a young girl like this 14-year-old girl becomes the victim of bureaucracy that isn't working properly, channels not communicating. Everybody has to uphold the law on their end for the system to work. And when you have one component of it not doing that, that's when it falls apart, like you see in sanctuary cities. And I understand what they're saying. They're like, they did their job. This isn't on us. Our police chief is all about law and order and wanting to uphold the rules and the laws to protect people. But there is a serious problem, and I'll tell you from being a gang prosecutor, of gangs coming in here and young gang members, MS-13 in particular, doing human sacrifices, rapes, murders, assault. I mean, a tremendous amount of violent and sexual assaultive crimes that are happening by illegals that MS-13 has recruited.
Dana, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, one of the questions, too, is, and how do you end up with an 18-year-old who is then basically enrolled in a freshman level class because he doesn't have English? And the truth is that in 1982, the Supreme Court ruled that schools cannot ask about your immigration status. And at the time, the question was really about resources and cost. And the court ruled that it was more harmful not to educate young people regardless of their immigration status. And that's why the school had to enroll him. So it might be time to revisit some of that,
policy.
But also what this young girl went through, if you read the case, it is so gut-wrenching and horrible. But also, 30% of rapes that are reported happen to girls who are under 18, and very few rapes are actually reported. So this is a widespread issue. This is a terrible case. I do think that they'll be convicted and deported.
All right, let's take a listen to the White House. They also weighed in. Here's Press Secretary Sean Spicer earlier today.
And the idea that this occurred is shocking, disturbing, horrific, and whatever other words that come to mind that someone can think of, because this is not, schools should be a safe place where children are there to learn and to feel safe. But I think part of the reason that the president has made illegal immigration and crackdown such a big deal is because of tragedies like this. But immigration pays its toll on our people if it's not done legally, and this is another example.
All right, Greg. So I think they're driving at is the culture, how you treat immigration as a whole. When things like Kimberly aptly points out, sometimes they fall through the cracks and bad things happen.
It's like when Dana talking about how you can't ask about status and you talk about sanctuary cities, you get collateral damage for romantic, naive beliefs. If you come out for sanctuary cities or this idea of protecting people because you want to give them an education, that makes you feel good about yourself. And it shows that the conflict that separates progressive and conservative ideologies, progressives are willing to risk safety for sentimental ideals, to say like, oh, sanctuary, we must be more loving. And what happens is a girl gets raped. She is the collateral damage of the progressive war on common sense. Conservatives realize that safety would actually preserve the sentimental ideals that everybody should have.
All right, Mr. Wan, instances of this, of rape and murder and violence, collateral damage to the Sanctuary City program. Can we clean that up while still have a Sanctuary City program?
Of course, you have laws, and nobody would sanction or abide sexual abuse of anybody. I think that's pretty horrible. I have trouble with this whole conversation because I know 98%, I've said this, I keep feeling like I'm just repeating myself, but 98% of illegal immigrants have committed no crime. And therefore, to characterize the conversation about illegal immigrants or immigration reform in this way, to me, is offensive, because I don't believe that most immigrants who come to this country, disproportionate number of whom are entrepreneurs who start companies ranging from Google, and I could go on.
The one, I agree with you on that, but what is the percentage of the general population that commits crime? Is it drastically different? I mean, what would be the percentage?
Yes, it is.
And are you comparing it crime by crime?
I don't think that's accurate, Juan. I think illegals commit violent crime at a higher rate than the general population.
No. In fact, I think Kimberly always schools me on this. Kimberly says they committed a crime when they crossed the border illegally, and I say right. But if you're talking about
violent crime.
But and Kimberly's right again, by the way. If you're talking about things like MS-13 and gangs, we have a problem with that, and it's just because you have low-income, poorly educated kids more vulnerable to those kinds of lures. But I think we come back to something Dana was talking about, Greg, in response to you. It's not about feeling good from the liberal perspective. I think that people think, you know what, it's better that we educate people in our society rather than leave them open as uneducated, unemployable people who can be exploited or joined into gangs. Similarly, with regard to
MS-13 are gangs from other countries.
Yeah, they bring them here,
right?
And then they bring in.
We educate
El
the gangs.
Salvador.
It's too late. If they're in a gang, you're not going to educate them out of a gang.
Well, I would hope that it's possible. I think the people.
And that's not our job. Our job is to put them in a truck and send them to a prison in Mexico.
Which they should have done effectively at the border, and they could have done that.
But this is similar to the argument over sanctuary cities, where you see that people say it's better for us. It's not about feeling good. It's better for us, safer for us, if you have immigrants willing to talk and share information with police.
Got to go right now.
It's not proven.
I don't think if that's proven. I also don't think that we need to find out the violent crime rate amongst illegals versus the general population.
Plenty of ways to report crimes.
A new billboard in downtown Phoenix is causing some controversy because on it is the president's face, as you can see there right in the middle, surrounded by money signs that kind of resemble swastikas and what appears to be atomic bombs going off. Courtney Griffin caught up with the Los Angeles-based artist who made this billboard, and she joins us live. Courtney.
Yeah, Carrie, this is the first billboard this artist has done in Phoenix. She is currently living in Los Angeles and says this is a way to express her freedom of speech while also giving others a voice. Take a look. Have you seen this billboard along Grand Avenue and Fillmore of President Donald Trump? Karen Fiorito is the artist behind it.
I got the opportunity to have a platform to say something, and I took that opportunity, and you know, I take full responsibility for it.
She says the Limited Liability Corporation, an organization in Phoenix that supports the arts, gave her this platform to make a statement about the current administration.
You know, I do feel like we are headed down a road of destruction and apocalyptic destruction, if I can say that. So that's my expression, and I think I have the right to say that. They have the right to say whatever they want, and they do, believe me.
I think this is the greatest thing that I've seen in a long time. I think that everything that Donald Trump is doing is destroying America from the inside.
Take it to your house. I live right here. I got to wake up to this every day. Disrespectful.
Jeff Whiteman, who lives near the sign, doesn't like to look at it.
I heard some banging last night. I noticed they were changing the sign around. I woke up this morning and I had Donald Trump looking in my living room window.
The artist says on the other side of the billboard, written in sign language, is the word unity, and she hopes that's what will come of this.
You know, there's a lot of tension right now in the air, and I think I'm just trying to express that for a lot of people who feel like they don't have a voice right now.
I think says a million words to me.
Not only is it Donald Trump, it's like some explosive Nazi swastika is the impression I get, which I'm not happy about.
The artist says the billboard has many elements and layers to it. She says it depicts how she feels the direction of this country is going, even if others don't agree. Reporting live, Courtney Griffin, Fox 10 News.